Hello there, grade 2. Good morning. For your page 10, you can just get the idea from our past lessons on how to answer that because all you have to do is to identify which one is smaller or greater. Okay, so this activity is for pages 11 and 12, where you are asked to arrange numbers in order either to begin with the smallest or the greatest number. Okay, so for example, in this task, let's say you're tasked to start with the smallest. So begin with the smallest. Okay, if you do not know what to do by simply looking at it lang, I can suggest you to write them in a column according to their place value. So we have our, just for formality's sake, we're going to write ones, tens. Okay, this is just to be clear for everybody. And we have hundreds. So let's try to write the numbers according to their place value. We have 437. We have 649. We have 586 and 241. Okay, our task here is again to begin with the smallest. Okay, begin with the smallest. So among these numbers, the first digits of yung mga given natin, we have 4, 5, 4, 6 rather, 4, 6, 5, and 2. Which is the smallest value? Which has the smallest value among the 4? Okay, obviously it's 241. So our first number is 241. What goes next? We are done with this. What goes next? Among 4, 6, and 5, which is the smallest? Obviously it's 4. So you have 4, 3, 7. We can remove that next. And between 6 and 5, which has a smaller value? Obviously, it's 5. So that's 5, 8, 6. Okay, then what's left is 6, 4, 9. That is if you are tasked to begin with the smallest. Okay, this is if you are supposed to begin with the smallest. Okay, only if you are tasked to begin with the smallest. Okay, we started with the smallest value all the way up to the biggest value. And we can say that this process is called ascending. The ascending order. We start with the smallest and end with the biggest. Okay. So what if it's the other way around? Okay. What if lang if it's the other way around? So tanggalin natin to. This one, other numbers. And of course, yung examples natin kanina. Just remove yung mga hindi kailangan. Oops. Did I erase it accidentally? I hope not. Okay. There. I have it back. Congratulations to me. Okay, what if you are tasked to begin with the greatest? So, sulatin ko lang doon ang greatest. What do you mean by greatest? Yung pinakamalaki, the biggest value. So, if you're going to notice the first digits again, we have 4, 6, 5, and 2. Which has the greatest value? Obviously, by simply looking at it, it's 6. So, let's write 6, 4, and 9. 649. Then the next bigger or greater value, let's just try to remove that just to show that it's eliminated. So 4, 5, and 2, the next greater value is 5. We have 586. What's left now is 4 and 2. So obviously 4 has a greater value than 2. So we have 437. And lastly, you have 241. What's left? Okay. So this is if you are tasked to begin with the greatest. Okay, we started with the greatest all the way to the smallest value. And this process is called descending. Okay, descending order. Ibig sabihin, we are going to start with the greatest value and end with the smallest value. Okay? Okay, so for page 13, all you have to do is to identify the keywords. There are certain keywords here. So for example, let me just read the following. It says, 4 more than 20 is blank. 7 more than 210 is blank. 6 less than 50 is blank. And 3 less than 210 is blank. So we have these certain keywords here. More and less. What do you mean by more and less? Okay, often in word problems, basic single process, when you say more, we add, okay? And if we say less, it's minus or subtract. Or in a better understanding, we actually call it as take away. Okay? So for example, for our first example, we have 4 more than 20, which means you already have the value of 20 there. And all you have to do is just to add how many more? 4. And 20 plus 4, if you're gonna skip count that, that's 21, 22, 23, 24. So our answer here is 24. So the next example is basically the same. 7 more than 210. So you already have 210 there. All you have to add is a certain number. By how many more? How much more do you need to add? We need to add 7 more. Okay? So that's 7 more. Okay, we need to put the add button there. The add sign, addition sign. So counting 210 and add 7, skip count, 211, 212, 213, 214, 215, 216, 217. So our final answer here is 217. Now for less. What do you mean by less? That's what we said earlier. No, for a single process yan, it actually depends because there are certain double process problem solving. Sometimes it means the opposite. Okay, but for single process, it means less, minus, okay, or subtract, take away. 6 less than 50. So we already have 50 there, and all you have to do is to remove 6 from 50. Take away 6. Okay, 50 take away 6. So if you're going to try to do the method of counting backwards, we start with 50. Going backwards, we have 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44. Let's count that. We have to remove 6 units, okay? 6. From 50, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can say now that 50 take away 6 or minus 6 is equivalent to 44. So our final answer here is 44. Okay. Let's try to do the last number. 3 less than 210. So that's 210. Less than. Less. So that's minus 3. Counting backwards, doing the process. Erase muna natin to. Let's just remove this. Okay. So we have 210. Counting backwards, if you remove 1 from 210, we have 209, 208, 207. Again, from 210, we have to remove 3 units. So that's 1, 2, 3, which leaves us to 207. So our final answer here is 207. Okay, for page 14, what you're supposed to do here is completing a number pattern. So if you notice, we have 112, blank, 116, 118, blank. So in this case, all you have to do is to fill in numbers that will fit the pattern. For example, if I will ask you, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, blank, 6. What do you think is this number over here? Obviously, it's 5. Okay? That's very obvious. So that is a basic number pattern. But in this case, for you, it's a little advanced. But don't worry, because all you have to do is to observe the first few digits. Okay? So in this case, we are lucky that the first two digits are the same. Okay? The only difference here is the last digits. So look for two numbers, two to three numbers, two or more numbers that are placed together. Does 112 have a companion? No. Obviously, it's 116 and 118 that has a companion. That is paired together. Okay? All you have to do now is to look at their difference. What is the difference between 116 and 118? In other words, what did you do with 116 to give you 118? So obviously here we added 2. We just added 2. Just to make it clear for everyone. We added 2 to give us 118. So that's basically how you get the pattern for basic, okay, number patterns. Okay, this one is again basic. So all you have to do is just to add 2 to these numbers to get the difference. Okay? So ibig sabihin, for this number 112, all you have to do is just to add 2 to it to give us the next number, which is this one. So 112 plus 2, okay, I will just remove this para mas maganda tignan. So we have 112 there. 112, all you have to do is just to add 2, which will give you 114. Okay, which means our next number is 114. Okay, how about for this value here? We have 118. Then again, we just need to add 2. Okay, it depends for in this case kasi from 116 to 118 the difference is 2. It can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, even 100, even 1,000. Okay, so it depends. Okay, so all you have to do here is just to add 2 to 118 because in this case our difference is 2. So that's 0, carry over. 1 plus 1 will give you 2. Bring down 1 will give you 120, which means this blank over here is equivalent to 120. Okay, so that's how you're going to do your other activity.